Here, Plovdiv's version of an old car show. We'll go take a look at some of these. Like that green one, looks like a Chevy. Man, it's amazing how our Jeeps got all around the world. Of course, we left them there. Wartburg sounds like an animal of some sort, doesn't it? This was a pretty car in its day, the Citroen. Still is, for that matter. Porsche. So that's how the convertible works. How clever that is, eh? No mechanical at all. About the size of a smart car, maybe slightly larger. No doubt one of our diplomats left this one here. Sporty looking little rig, isn't it? Phil would love this. A guy feeding the flying rats. Now this is interesting because if you can see in the other picture we looked at that they had, when we were at the end of the long racetrack, which is that end right down there. We were down there. I sat to the upper right. But anyway, from that vantage point, they had made a drawing that showed about 5 arches down at the other end. Well, this is the other end. And apparently later this morning we'll find one of the columns that was still positioned at this point. So here again we're looking at the amphitheater, the ancient stadium of Philippopolis, and that is the beautiful part that we were walking in yesterday up above, and here's the full length of it. Now notice this black dot, because in a moment I'm going to show you from this position how far down the stadium was to the other end that we visited yesterday. So notice those 2 red portions. So down here on an underpass, underneath that road, we'll find another archaeological site. What kind of stones we're walking on right now. Back where we are, these have either been stolen or this was a roadbed, because the site we're looking for is behind me. It's down there, but I just like to explore every nook and cranny, and this is what we're finding here. And you can see that at this point, huge slabs of stone, but then the huge slabs of stone go off to the left also. So this is where the road went, but there was also a crossroad right in front of us. Notice how some of these shops have been able to incorporate Roman ruins into their display.
Part of a residential building, which dated to century AD, and this is the guest room, which is built from 3rd century AD. This is the early image of Saint Irina. Here you have an ancient Greek inscription, and you see her face. And the interesting, it's in her interesting. These knots here and here in the negative form, at black form. You see? And these knots in positive form, at white form. And in the mosaics, it's very interesting because have a positive and negative, and it's very interesting symbolizing. Here, you see?
The square frame or the
square frame?
Ah, yes.
Square frame. These lines and here flowers and here flowers. The mosaics is not very good safe. Here, you see? And here lines about this frame. Is 4 seasons. 4 seasons, and here the last blasts, you see here, which symbolize the endless.
The space, eternity.
Yes, eternity. These flowers is symbol to green plant.
This one here?
Evergreen plant,
Ah.
with flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is on positive form, the white form, and this is negative.
Ah, yes.
It's not the official religion.
Right.
Here, you see this cross?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and this is early Christian symbols. Here, this is the original Roman street.
Yes, yes.
This is the fountain.
Ah, there was, okay.
And have two inscriptions in ancient Greek. You see?
Yes? Yep. What do they say?
They say welcome and happiness, with happiness.
So which is the man and which is the woman?
The man is the top,
Oh, the dark?
or the dark, yes.
And the woman is the light?
Light.
Is that an Arabic symbol?
Aerobic.
Muslim symbol? So you probably gathered this is a guest room here in this residential home. This is really outstanding because I've never seen, I don't think, any residence in situ, in other words, where it really was, with its original in situ mosaics. So this is extremely novel. It's the equivalent of walking into somebody's home, a Muslim home or a mosque today, and seeing the same rugs that were there 2,000 years ago. I may have gathered from the conversation, for these symbols here, this was a Christian man's home, but before Constantine had declared Christianity legal. Otherwise, you could be crucified and strung up if you were advocating being a Christian. So it's quite possible that all of these symbols reflect not only things like man and woman and good and bad, but also Christianity in very, very subtle forms.
Yes, and this is Cantarus, which is from riches and well-being. The Cantarus, and this symbol is very typical symbol for Thracian sun symbol.
Thracians?
Is Thracian sun symbol. Do you know? Have a hoe.
Your name?
Snezhana.
Najana. Okay, so Najana says that this was the main entrance, and notice that groove in the stones, just like I saw earlier today in one of those stones. She thinks it might be, her suggestion is maybe sliding door. I might suggest that it was to catch the water, so the water does not come inside, but it drains out the end. See how it slopes down? Now, to add some credibility to the idea that that might be a sliding door, Najana says that over there was sliding doors, very much like the Japanese homes. So what we're looking at, of course, is this is the entrance, then this is the hallway or the foyer of a house, and that probably goes into another room there of some sort. But over there, beyond that wall, was where the servants' quarters were, and that would have been the entrance for the servants over there.
This is a part of mosaics of the big Basilica, and of 4th century.
So that's the inscription of a bishop of the 4th century.
And is used a different technique to make the glass.
So these would be 7th century to BC to 4th century AD.
Yes.
Do you have to take care of those people?
Horses, dogs, lion, cross, bull.
Is this paint or is that in the glass, the color?
This is colored, not paint.
So it's colored glass.
Colored glass.
So that's colored glass. You imagine the skill of that technique to make that kind of design with the colors in the glass. Amazing. And these are all glass, eh? Glass? So this is kind of like a national museum for these, for Bulgaria.
For bed, and this is for bed.
Ah, okay. So someone would wear these. Like you have diamond here, or whatever, and that's what these would. Millefiori. Is that how you say it? Millefiori?
Yes.
So this millefiori, which means million or thousand flowers, is a technique for painting these little flowers on the glass. Snake is for good luck. Beautiful colors.